Chapter 3 Fighting for a Place. Who wouldn't know Xiaolin, the bottommost student in Xingyao Academy? The woman giggled. Don't call me Xiaolin, Lin Xiu exclaimed. At this moment, the woman asked seriously, Go on, which restoration fluid do you want? The 9,800 union coins won. Lin Xiu sighed and replied. As he spoke, Lin Xiu handed that bank card from just now over to this woman. Isn't this Xiao Qiang's office? Lin Xiu asked, a little puzzled at the moment. He's on leave today, so I'll help him for a day. By the way, my name is Xiaoro Shui. Hearing the word shui in her name, which meant water in English, Lin Xiu immediately had a certain dirty image in his head. Well, lie inside. Xiaoro Shui said to Lin Xiu after deducting 9,800 union coins from the card. Lin Xiu was a little embarrassed as he entered the smart treatment cabin. He had to take off his clothes to enter the treatment cabin, but he could obviously leave his underwear on. You're not shy, are you? Xiaoro Shui narrowed her eyes and grinned. Cough, cough. Lin Xiu blushed, but he immediately recovered his composure. The injuries on Lin Xiu's body surprised her a little. There were all kinds of red marks on his body, and it seemed like there were quite a number of internal injuries that developed from getting beaten up over the years. After lying down in the treatment cabin, Xiaoro Shui poured the green culture fluid from the other side into the cabin. The more expensive this restoration liquid was, the better the restoration power would be. But Lin Xiu's injuries were soft tissue bruising. Although they were a little serious, ordinary restoration fluid was enough. He was only left with 200 union coins now. It was really quite expensive. Soon, Lin Xiu felt the restoration fluid slowly cover his whole body. The treatment cabin is about to close. Estimated restoration time is 5 hours. 5 hours went by very quickly, and when Lin Xiu woke up, the restoration fluid had slowly reduced and disappeared. The cabin door opened, and those injuries on his body were gone. Those internal injuries he got before traveling through time had recovered too, and his entire body felt like it was brimming with energy. Lin Xiu got dressed and walked out of the room, but that woman was already gone. He didn't think too much about it. He looked at the time and quickly rushed to his class. There are 20 places available to go to the A20 district for actual combat this time, and all the beginner warriors in our class can join. The teacher in charge, Luo Li, stood on the podium and said to everybody. There were exactly 20 beginner warriors in class, so there was no need to fight for places. Where's Ma Qiang? Just then, Luo Li's gaze swept across everyone and he asked, So, Ma Qiang, he is undergoing a surgery at C District. Zhang Dong and Chen Li looked at one another and replied, Surgery? Luo Li was stunned. What exactly happened? He was beaten up by Lin Xiu till his ribs were fractured. There is also a crack in his vertebra. Chen Li gritted his teeth and answered, You're kidding. A guy at the side burst out laughing. The others began to laugh as well. Lin Xiu was the bottommost student in the academy, and everyone was stronger than him. How could someone so useless beat up Ma Qiang so badly? Nobody could believe it. I'm serious, Chen Li said. He also didn't know how Lin Xiu had a burst of strength at that time and caused Ma Qiang to be in this state with just one strike. Forget it. Then Ma Qiang doesn't have to go for the A20 district's combat practice this time. Luo Li rubbed her temples before speaking. Teacher, can I go? At this moment, Lin Xiu walked in and asked. Everyone's eyes turned towards Lin Xiu. Chen Li and Zhang Dong were shocked and seemed slightly fearful. Ma Qiang was in this state with just one strike, so they were definitely terrified. Lin Xiu, The A20 district is full of zombies and mutated beasts. You haven't even reached the strength of a beginner warrior. It's simply courting death." A guy sneered disdainfully. The others also looked at Lin Xiu as though he was retarded. "Lin Xiu, don't be impulsive. The A20 district is very dangerous. You should train more first." Luoli spoke up after being silent for a while. Lin Xiu was very outstanding in terms of theoretical knowledge, but he was still too weak physically. "If I defeat you, does it mean that I can go?" Lin Xiu looked at that guy who sneered disdainfully just now and asked plainly, "You!" The guy was called Shu Jun, and he was very tall and well built. At this moment, he stood up and stared at Lin Xiu. Hearing Lin Xiu provoking him, he felt insulted. A weak loser was trying to challenge him? "Want to try?" Lin Xiu spoke with his eyes narrowed. The analytic eye had been activated. Shu Jun, level, beginner warrior, strength, 52, physique, 41, speed, 37, overall combat strength, 443. This chap was slightly weaker than Ma Qiang, and as long as Lin Xiu dodged carefully and waited for his rage meter to be full, he would be able to use the power-up strike and knock him down directly. "Sure!" Shu Jun was furious and scoffed. "He must beat this Lin Xiu up badly," he thought to himself. "You guys..." Luo Li was stunned, but Shu Jun had already gone outside with Lin Xiu. "Lin Xiu, don't fight with him. He's already a beginner warrior," a guy said to Lin Xiu. This person was Yang Tian. He was quite plump and was the only one in class who didn't look down on Lin Xiu. "Don't worry, I've wanted to beat him up for a very long time already," replied Lin Xiu with a smirk. This Shu Jun always bullied Lin Xiu in class as well. At this moment, Lin Xiu balled up his fist tightly. "Quick, look. That loser Lin Xiu is actually asking for a fight. Isn't he courting death? Huh?" It was time for class, but many students were in the field having combat training. When they saw Lin Xiu and Shu Jun standing in the middle of the martial arts ground, a large number of them went over and crowded around.